And we're live.
The thumbs up have arrived.
Yeah. And we have audio on the first rip. So
You
I
even have the sound effects up?
have the sound effects turned up for the super chats that are inevitably coming. I have, the other day I did a live stream 2 times in a row, me and Brianna.
No sound.
No sound for the first minute and a half. And I'm like, oh, crap. So anyway, yeah. So I was double checking and triple checking things today.
So the fancy board can't handle everything, huh?
No, well, you have to turn it on.
User error.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to toggle things and switch things. Welcome to the Thursday night Q&A live stream hangout here on Dylan Talks Tone. I hope you all are having a great evening. This is where we take questions from anybody, anywhere in the world. About guitar stuff. And we talk about it and we discuss things, and we have a main question for those of you that are impatiently being like, I'm seeing this in replay and you're not doing it right. We're going to talk about that first, the thing in the thumbnail. And then I would like to get your input on that as well. And then we're also going to do an off-topic hour at 9 o'clock. So if you have questions, get over there in the chat. We do have some Patreon questions that we're going to ask first, because they've been on Patreon and YouTube members, the little join button down there, and they're going to ask them first. In fact, you can see the little right down here, how you can join the Patreons and the such. And somebody asked us for our Cash App because they said they wanted to bypass the YouTube powers and just, buy us a drink.
Shh, don't tell them that.
Yeah. So you're able to do that. Actually, somebody bought you Legos with that.
They did.
Yeah. And somebody bought me this bottle of whiskey right here. So there you go. So thank you, everybody. I guess, before we also get started, I've got a couple other things here. We got some new things on the website that I want to tell you about at Dylan Talks Tone. Link is also right there. We got flat work. If you want to try making pickups, we got the best flat work in town. And it is reasonably priced. And it's not sticky and gross. And it's very consistent because I'm making it in-house and it's very good. I'm using it on my pickups that I'm making for you. And then if you want to experiment with making pickups, you are welcome to buy some and try it yourself. I encourage you to mess around with that. We also have magnets, and we will be expanding that line as we go. Right now we have a few magnet sizes, and we also have Strat and Tele flat work. So feel free to check out the website. Links in the description. I think you'll dig it. We got some new t-shirts, and we also have a bunch of new electronics parts over there as well, switches and wire and stuff like that. And Lizard Spit is back on the website. So after a long couple-year break, we went back to Chris, and I said, Chris, I need Lizard Spit on the website. So you can order fretboard oil and fret polishing kits. Those things are the bomb. We've got most of the stuff in stock, and the rest of it is coming. So feel free to order that stuff as well. So,
Yeah. Matthew Altamere said he got his lizard shit today.
oh, awesome. Excellent. I'm assuming that was probably some sort of spell check.
I'm sure it was, but it's just funny
That
that's
goes to
what
tell
it would
you how
spell
much he uses that word if it's spell
Probably.
checking to that.
to that
Yeah.
instead of from that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some of these here questions on the old Patreons and such.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
Can you say best in town if you're the only one in town?
I mean, they can try.
All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Dawn. Oh, you didn't tell me. Happy National Mimosa Day.
We could have had mimosas.
Could have. Leslie. Oh, happy National Mimosa Day. Leslie, Bree, and Dylan. Dylan, do you think it's possible today, with access to knowledge at current levels, to come up with a totally unique passive pickup design? Or is innovation just refinements or variations on existing products?
I accidentally screwed up. This isn't the topic question. I
Good
must
job.
have put this one in after, and it bumps the other one down, so it's the next question. I don't know. I don't know. I think Fluent is doing a pretty good job because they've got that cool new technology with the stacking circuit boards. That's really neat. I think there's going to have to be a willingness on the part of guitar players to explore. I think the next generation of guitar players is going to explore a lot more. I think as digital products do more things and more capabilities for more sounds and stuff, I think the guitar in general is going to change in the next 20 years, but not in the next 5. Um, that would be my guess. It's just a guess though. But I think conventional pickups, I mean, they are evolving because materials change. We have to adapt to new materials. Wait till you see some of the cool stuff I'm doing. We're doing some really cool custom stuff with materials. So, I got lasers, so we can do a lot of neat things now. But it's not tonally or anything. It's just cosmetically, but it's still cool. So yeah, I don't know.
Hawkman Hawk says he's checking in. Kane's in the lead.
Oh, I was going to mention that. I was going to put it on my list and I forgot. If someone would please keep me updated with hockey scores, because if we go till 9:30 or so, I'm going to miss basically the first half of the game. So if you would at least keep me up with hockey scores. And I knew Hawkman Hawks actually said that he wasn't even going to be here tonight. So I'm glad that he's at least.
Well, maybe he's just popping in to update you.
Yes, please give me scores. That'd be great.
So since this was Don's question, he asked another question. He said, would you consider fluents to be passive?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They are powered, but they are passive. Yes, I would consider them to be passive. Yep.
All right.
All right, here's the actual question. Matt,
good evening, DTT team. Any suggestions for option paralysis in the amp pedal sim world? I have a Bias FX2 software with 1 million amps, pedals, etc. I downloaded a bunch of pre-made things, but honestly don't like many of them. At times it seems there's too much FX crap going on, making it sound fake. I get frustrated and just end up plugging into a regular combo amp. What should I do to start from scratch? Thanks.
Wow, this is a great question. So here's my question for all of you to get in the comments, and we can chat about this on and off throughout the evening, throughout our other questions too. What do you do to fight option paralysis? Are there too many options for effects and for stuff out there? I want to know what you think, because it's hard. You can get lost pretty quickly. So I'll tell you what I do, and I'm not going to give you this as advice. I'm just going to tell you what I do. I know you said suggestions or whatever, but I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. Can we actually take it down though? Cause it's huge. I won't forget. So if you were going to start over, so here's the thing, take your combo amp, whatever combo amp it is, and decide what your basic sound is that you really like. And build one rig based on that. Build your base rig with all your digital stuff. Don't use any of it. Just use your sound, the sound that you like, the bass sound. Okay. So for me, it's P90s into a Princeton wide open. Okay. Or it's a Strat or a Les Paul into a Marshall. Or it's a Fender 6L6 amp cranked. And I personally know that depending on the amp, because every amp has a different characteristic, whether you use a top boost or a Rat or a TS9 or whatever in front of it. So I choose a boost or a RC booster, for example. I use a boost style in front of the amp, and then I'll put my, a delay and a reverb. That's kind of all I use for my bass tone. Now, those will change a little bit based on the amp and the guitar, right? Because you want it to sound a certain way. So figure out what your bass sound is, and cut all that other stuff out. And then what I like to do is paint with effects. Like, okay, so Brianna always has a painting going in the garage, right? And you'll go out there and she'll start with like 3 colors on the background. And you might not know, but you just know what the basic color scheme is and what the theme of it is. And over the next few weeks or days or however long she takes to do it, she's adding one little color, one little thing, and it slowly comes together. But each of those things are sort of sprinkled. I think too many people go the other way with guitar effects, and they have a bunch of effects and they want to make these sounds with these effects. But I think if you go the opposite way and sprinkle them on top a little bit, it will give you more of a direction. Like, I am looking for this particular goal and I want to add this little thing instead of this wall of sound that you're lost in. You know what I mean? And so that's what I do. I have two main sounds that I use, a Fender sound and a Marshall sound. And then from there, if I want a tremolo on my Fender side, if I want, a slapback reverb, if I want whatever, if I want a bigger delay on my Marshall side. So even with a Kemper, because I just got another Kemper, that's why I sold my big Kemper, because with all the things that it did, I found myself using two rigs. So bass sounds and paint details with effects. That's what I do. I'm not telling you to do that, but that's how I keep myself from getting lost in all of it. And you'll also notice as a result of that, I don't collect a lot of pedals and stuff because I stay pretty simple. Yeah. Whatever's everybody else saying.
Did you push the button? Why can't I hear it? That's loud.
Oh, it's through the headphones, probably.
Super chat from Sarge978. Thank you for the super chat, Sarge. He says, I super chat and ask Dylan to fight paralysis.
I fight it every day.
Do you feel empowered? It's probably from something, and I'm going to miss whatever he's trying to tell me. Sarge and I just can't get on the same level.
On the same movie level and movie quote level and music quote level and stuff. Yeah, I know.
I'm glad he seems like a nice guy, though.
Yeah, he's somebody we need to meet, I think.
Yeah.
Sarge, we will have our Python enclosure the first week of June. So,
you want to know what other people are talking about with this?
What are they saying?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me grab a couple more. All right.
Because everybody handles it different,
Yeah. So this is on the subject when you posted before, and now you've asked the question. So kind of a mix. Robert Hastings says, hello, friends. I like the research and comparisons I use to make choice for gear. I'll catch up tomorrow. 67 Goat says, I deal with option paralysis by having as many options as possible and playing whatever is closest when I want to play.
That's what I do with guitars.
Let's see. It's Victoria G said, this is why I refuse to get a modeler, even though people swear by modelers allowing them more versatility while simultaneously downsizing.
It can be mentally a catch-22 until you realize how to use them properly.
Tom F says, I buy it, try it. If I don't like it, I return it or I sell it or return it, at least hardware based.
Oh, okay.
Marcia Murray says, I avoid software and just plug into my combo and have a pedal board with power supply for only 8 pedals.
Oh, wow. So you limit yourself based on you just I can only fit this many, and that's what it is. That's cool.
Kevzilla says, my Mustang came with 189 presets. I rearranged them so the 24 or so I like are on top and easy to find. Mm-hmm. It's Victoria G said, it's like when you're doing your eyeshadow, Dylan. You can use multiple shades, but ideally you limit it to one family of colors, 2 at the most, unless you're really confident in your abilities. How confident are you in your eyeshadow abilities?
Eyeshadow abilities?
Yeah.
I've only done it once, so I don't have.
You don't have confidence.
Eyeshadow.
So you have to limit yourself to 2, is what she's saying.
Probably less than that. I would
less
think.
than 2,
Yeah,
like none.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe none.
Yeah.
One more. Curtis Chavez says, if I started over, my rig would be Tone X1 for bass and guitar, along with a 200-watt solid state bass head. After that, a 212 ultralight bass cab.
So the trick there is, even within that, you will have to figure out what you like and select those 2 things. So like the Tone X1, for example, is great, but you have to have your A/B sounds still. Like, so, because you can click it and go side 1, side 2 and have, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Movie quotes, by the way. And you can have that, but you still have to choose them, right? And then limit yourself to that. But that's basically what I do with all this stuff.
All right, let's catch up. It's Victoria G said, she just scrolled off the screen. I love modulation pedals. The weirder, the better. The novelty never wears off. Van Shank Guitars is celebrating 41 months of membership. Man. I wonder at what point, it's like children. Like, at what point do they stop counting months and they just tell us years? Because, like, you wouldn't say, like, your kid was 41 months old. That'd be weird.
Weird people do.
Do they? Anyway, 41 months of membership.
Like,
that's really...
Your child is 3.
Really impressive, Ivan. 41 is more than 3. I guess that is 3. Okay. He said simple. Tone X.
Yeah.
That's his answer.
Yeah. But you see, the thing is, though, you still can get option paralysis in there because there's this whole bunch of amps to choose. So you still have to, like, baseline your basic sound that you like. That's the thing. You still have to do that.
Michael Rockwell wants to know how much super chat to get Dylan to put eyeshadow on stream. You really think? And Jose Daniel Zamora says only once is not very punk rock.
No. Now, eyeliner, that's different. Not eyeshadow.
Hawkman Hawk says Canes 2, Rangers 0.
Wow.
Here we go. It's weird that I can hear it. Super chat from Sarge978. Thanks for the super chat, Sarge. He says, I'll put one right down the middle for you, Leslie. Mama always said life was like a box of pickups. You never know what you're going to get. Yep. I do know where that's from. I mean, they didn't say pickups, but
yes.
If he can, like, help me out and get me on where his humor is, I can probably figure it out.
Yep.
But we haven't connected yet, Sarge.
Yep.
I'm usually pretty good.
She is, usually.
Even when you unintentionally say things, I usually catch them. Here we go. I'm sorry. Doc Stiltonen says, I'm fortunate enough to have lots of options for gear, amps, guitars, etc. I just gravitate towards what the sound in my head is for the day. Changes all the time. You should tell us what that day is. It's like Happy Mimosa Day and Happy Punk Rock Day. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Jose Daniel Zamora says you'd have a solid eyeshadow nail polish repertoire.
I used to. Yep.
Let's see. Sir Sneaker Pimp says, I need an aircraft carrier for all the pedals I own.
That's awesome.
Vox Guitars Rock says, Dylan, you will laugh, but I have lots of OD pedals used with my just as good as guitars. Now that I bought a Gibson Les Paul, I haven't used the OD pedals since. Don't need them. Thanks.
Isn't that funny? That's interesting. There's like a dumpster fire going on my Facebook right now.
Why is that?
Because I posted pictures.
Oh, Hawkman Hawk says, crap, Canes 2, Rangers 1.
We should, can we do
moving on?
Yeah, can we do some more Patreon? We can still talk about that as we go tonight, but I want to get these other Patreon.
I'm currently caught up, so that's good.
Okay,
With that topic.
Okay, excellent.
Damien, hi Dylan. Would you please consider following up your Bigsby video with one on the Gibson Maestro Vibrola?
I would have to buy one, and the thought has crossed my mind, but I am not buying a guitar right now. Well, I am actually. I have one on order. So I'm not currently buying another expensive guitar right now, and I would have to buy a Gibson SG with the, like the 61 whatever. So I would do it at some point. It will happen at some point, but you'll have to be patient for that one, because I need some more experience with it. I have a lot of experience with Bigsby's, but I don't have as much experience with those, and so I'd have to look at it kind of from an engineering standpoint and see if there was something. But there's so many other smart people that have looked at those guitars and tried to get them to work better over the years that I know I'm not the first one to that party. So, but I do want to do it at some point, take my shot at it, you know. But we would have to buy one, and that's that's $2,500. So we would have to. That'll come at some point.
Sarge, Kemper player that you got versus used Kemper head for $100 to $200 more. Which would be the better choice?
It depends. If you want to stay simple, if you have a bunch of other pedals, you get the player. If you want to replace everything and have nothing else, get the big Kemper.
Evstathio says, good evening, Leslie and or Brianna and Dylan. What is your favorite headstock tuner? Would you use it to intonate a guitar?
Yeah, the Peterson one's really good. And the Korg Pitch Black series is really good. And I would use it to intonate a guitar. Those two brands I would. But I would only do that as a stopgap until I got a properly good tuner. But those get close. Those get really good. So, yeah. And don't just do it in a quiet room with nobody else around, because they're really susceptible to other vibrations and stuff. Don't do it during an earthquake or a loud movie or something,
That was really random. Josh, go Canes. Catch y'all next Thursday.
Yeah, see, so I thought he was going to not be here.
Did you do that, or was that a typo?
I copy paste.
Oh, okay.
I copy.
I was teasing you. I was like, next Thursday?
I copy paste.
But he's here.
Yep.
That's Hawkman, right?
Yeah. And I appreciate that he's here so that he can give us updates on the old hockey game.
Sarge, good evening, Dylan and Leslie / Brianna. Now we're merging into one. Mm-hmm. When using a Kemper or any other modeler, how much does whatever speaker you're ultimately playing it out of affect how close the models actually are or not?
It's pretty big. So even my monitors, studio monitors, if they're not set up right, it doesn't sound right. So you have to make sure that you have, first of all, flat range, flat response is the way to go with this stuff. I used to use a guitar cabinet because I only used one or two profiles, and I still would do that if I was doing it that way and playing live, but a guitar cabinet kind of limits what the thing can do in certain circumstances. And so I would say, a flat range, full response speaker that has everything, that can hear basically everything, would be the way to go. Like a head rush or something. I was going to buy a head rush actually for my little Kemper, but since I have studio monitors already, I was like, I'm just going to make that into so what I did is I have JBL 305s over here stacked upright with a Focusrite 18i8 sitting on top of it with the little Kemper sitting on top of it. And that's my amp. So it's not optimal. I'm going to move it around and make it a little better, but, cause having it on the floor, it makes it too bassy. And so those are the kind of things you think about, like positioning and how the speaker is EQ'd and stuff, frequency shelves and that sort of stuff. Once you get that dialed in, then it's pretty cool.
Doc Silton says 3-1 Canes.
No way. This is like the fastest scoring game ever.
Zoltan, did I notice correctly on Monday's video that when you wind, you move slower close to the two edges of the bobbin and faster over the middle? I guess it's to avoid getting the middle of the coil fatter than the edges.
No, I actually do the opposite, but what you were seeing there, I had to think about this because I actually tell people to do it the opposite. What happens if you go too slow when you get to the edges, our brain, it's a human nature thing. Our brain wants to go to the edge and stop, go to the edge and stop. And it builds the edges up too much. So what you kind of have to do is bounce off the edge.
Yeah, because you're covering it twice in a short space, right?
Right. So you kind of like bounce off the edge, go across, bounce off the edge. And what you were seeing me do is because I was showing everybody stuff, I was all crooked. Like, because it wasn't, you know, I
You were talking.
was talking and showing and like, do this and this is how you hold it. Meanwhile, the bobbin's all wobbly and weird looking. So I had to like concentrate on some edges and concentrate on some areas specifically on that particular pickup to bring it back to good. So, you know, that was a singular time that needed to happen, but usually I bounce off the edges and kind of go slower over the middle because our brain wants to go over here and stop, go over here and stop, go over here and stop, but that builds up the edges too much. So it's kind of the opposite of what you're thinking.
It's probably not wrong that that's what he noticed, though.
Yeah, no, he was paying attention,
Especially
for sure.
if it was like in double time.
Oh yeah, because he watches in double time.
Zoltan, hey, Dylan and Leslie. Do you know a way to reliably measure how good the taper of a pot is before soldering it in place and hearing it in action? Even among supposedly good quality audio taper pots, every now and then I find some that don't have much of a sweeping curve, but go from almost fully on to almost fully off around a single spot.
So the only way I know to do it is hook up your meter and literally just do it like at, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and wide open or whatever. That's the only way I know to do it. And then if you're getting, most manufacturers will post their taper curve and you can look at the percentage and see if it's right. And once you do a 1 that you know it's right, then you'll know on the meter, this is way too low right here. This is way too high right here. And you'll know, like once you understand so let's say it's a 250K pot and, a linear, we'll use linear for an example just because it's easier. So it's 250K pot. So then it's 125 at straight up and down at 12 o'clock and it's 0, at all the way down. So, if you turn it down to 50% and it's, 100 ohms instead of 150, you're like, oh, well, the taper's off. I'm using linear because it's easier to say. But once you understand what that curve is and what those percentages are, you'll do it a couple of times and then you'll just know that at 5 and at 7, I'm supposed to have X amount of ohms on these pots. And this is way off before you put it in the guitar.
Super chat from Sarge978. Thank you, Sarge. He said, they'll always be the whalers to me. Go Bees.
Mm-hmm.
This is hockey people.
Yeah, what sucks too is no more Phoenix Coyotes. The owner of the Utah Jazz bought them, and so they're moving to Salt Lake.
Haven't they moved from like California to Phoenix and somewhere else?
No, they've been in Phoenix for a long time. I guess they used to be in Winnipeg or somewhere. I don't remember. Anyway, for the last long time, Wayne Gretzky was still playing when they were in Phoenix. There's a 99 on the ceiling in Phoenix. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, so there's no more. So I don't know if they're going to be like the Salt Lake Mormons or something.
I wasn't ready. All right. That was the end of the
Patreon questions.
Patreon and YouTube. Yes.
Excellent.
Would you like more?
Yes.
More. Yeah, I'm just going to go in order. I think some of these are probably comments to the topic, but
Excellent.
We're just going to go back in order.
Cool.
Starting with whatever order it puts it in. Anyway, Jose Daniel Zamora P says, how bad is the Vibramate adapter for a Bigsby? I've been curious to try if I like it before a permanent modification.
I don't like them because what makes a Bigsby work is having the correct break angle over everything. All the angles is what makes a Bigsby work. The angles and the freedom of the Bigsby to move. if you lessen the brake angle over the bridge, you'll screw with it and it doesn't work as good. It will work. It will be fine, but it doesn't work as good as if you don't have it. So if you put one on there with a Vibromate and you have tuning stability issues and whatever, don't blame it on the Bigsby, because you can make it better without a Vibromate. I'm not a fan of them, but I'm also a huge fan of Bigsby's, and you're never going to get me to be like, oh, I wonder if I should do this or not. I'm going to be like, Bigsby the world. So
Glenn Tepper, I'm somewhat concerned. I own 3 of the things in your opening photo. S1974 spec Gibson ES335, a blonde Rickenbacker 37012, and a Roland JC40. What's with that?
that's cool. Those are really cool. That's cool stuff, man.
I'm somewhat concerned. Sarge978, thanks for the super chat. He says the Salt Lake Magic Underoos.
Oh my God.
You're good?
That is amazing.
He wasn't ready.
That's amazing. I love that. That's what they should be called.
You got him.
That's what they should be called. Yep.
Curtis Chavez, Dylan, your thoughts on a Challenger level 2 with bridge slant 6 and neck D90?
I don't think you're getting all you can get out of that guitar with that combo. I would put DAFs in it.
Oh, and then
Yep.
that's a little bit different question. Your thoughts on a Challenger level 2 with bridge flat 6 and neck D90?
They won't do that. Just put 2 humbuckers in it. That guitar needs 2 humbuckers, really. Or 2 P90s, but if you're getting a level 2, get 2 DAFs in it.
Super chat. Super chat from Sunbase. Thank you for the super chat. Great video the other day. Couldn't agree more with getting quality tools. Also, you were spot on about cheap pot metal screws that lower end hardware comes with.
Yeah, it's true, right? It's just, it sucks because you want to adjust the guitar and make it better, and then the next thing you know, you're stripped out bridges and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for the super chat, too.
Halo 20. Going on the reply you gave the other day regarding eBay fakes, etc., I'm taking your advice and are now torn between a 60s custom shop or SD Vintage 2. Big price difference. The extra for SD worth it?
They're very good. They are very good. You could also go to Dylan Talks Tone and buy a set of DAFs, and you'd save yourself some money, and they'd be awesome. But yes, they are very good. Either one of those though would be awesome. The Gibson Custom Shop ones are cool too. My buddy makes those. They would both be good.
Shadow XLX Hunter. Between Amp Hub and the Neural DSP birthday sale, I have all the tone options I'd ever need. The hard part is trying to limit my guitar collection, which I just don't think I could do.
Why? Why do you need to? I don't see a point in it.
What's the point? Efstathios, I tried to create multiple sound with my Boss Katana, but whatever I have come up with does not seem to compare to going straight into my tube combo. I guess guitar, cable, tube combo is my sound.
You know, and when you get back to that, then that's pretty cool. I agree.
Matthew Altamere, do you guys find a love-hate relationship with your modelers?
No. Mine, I think that I use them for the convenience. I know I am perfectly aware that I would much rather have my Fuchs ODS 50 with a 412 cabinet wide open than anything else in the world. But it's not practical. Like, it's just not practical. And so I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with the fact that I don't live in a concert venue where I can play a 50-watt amp wide open. I'm just, I don't have that. So it's not a love-hate thing. I am just aware, but as you are all aware, I'm pretty aware that there is cheap guitars and expensive guitars, and there are stuff I can afford and stuff I can't afford, and there is stuff I can't use and stuff I can use, and I find my place in that instead of worrying about comparing stuff. I find my contentment in the situation that I have, and I just play within that, really. I don't know about how anybody else. I think that might have been a more general question for people in the comments too, but that's how I feel about it personally.
It's Victoria G says, if I prefer tuning to each pitch over using a headstock tuner or tuner pedal, does that make me a snob?
Nah.
We had some more suggestions for team names. The Salt Lake Soakers, SLC Punks.
Oh my goodness.
Adrian Smith, Dylan, I bought a Chibson LP. It's awesome, very aesthetically pleasing. It's beautiful. Only flaw is that it doesn't tune up. Do you believe that it could be the tuners or a flaw in the neck?
That's a good question. If you can't get it in tune at all, then chances are it's crooked. So what you need to do is measure it. Measure from the nut to the 12th fret. Measure from the 12th fret to the high E saddle. Make sure that your scale length is right. Make sure that your 12th fret is in the right place in the center. Make sure, all that stuff. It would not surprise me if it was crooked. I've seen that.
Super chat from Sarge978. Thanks, Sarge. He says, waiting on my pre-ordered 1991 pedal from Funny Little Boxes. Can't wait. Seems like it really nails the 10 tones from Mike and Stone as it intends to.
Really? That's cool. I actually heard of that pedal and I never did buy one.
Well, I guess Sarge can tell us about it. Jose Daniel Zamora P. I have a Hum Hum Super Strat that I'm still unsure if I should get a set of center punchers or just get some DAFs and ditch the option Paralysis with tone options.
I agree, but I wouldn't put DAFs in it either. I would put Super 8s in it. If you have a Hum Hum Strat, Super 8s all the way. That's what I would do. And yes, ditch the coil splitting, all that. Just Super 8s all the way. That thing would be a rocking machine. That'd be awesome.
Box Guitars Rock said, when asking yourself, how many guitars do I need? Remember, the answer is all of them.
All of them.
Need is such a terrible word. Why do people ask you what you need?
Yeah.
Please just ask me what I want. Don't ask me what I need. Why do you have to ask what I need? All right. Strangely enough, we're caught up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What time is it? Whoa.
Early.
Yeah.
We do have less of a crowd tonight, so maybe everybody's watching hockey.
That could be. So we had a scoring flurry, and then we did not have any.
I haven't seen any updates. So it's either nothing's happening or something's happening, and they can't get back to you.
They can't get back to the TV, or they can't get away from the TV. Yeah, makes sense. Well, there'll be a TV timeout, and they'll tell us. Yeah. Well. I could definitely give them an update on what's going on in the shop because we have.
Why not?
It's
your show.
We have a lot going, man. Buying a laser has been life-changing. Well, Brianna and I were talking about it today because I'm starting to teach her some of this stuff because ultimately I'd like her to run the laser because I've got to make pickups, so, and videos. So we were talking about it today and just looking at the quality of the parts. We were just out there looking at the quality of parts that were coming out of that thing. And I'm just like, these are just so good. And we're playing with settings a little bit, trying to dial in, get a little more speed, but just they're just so good. I'm just so proud of them. And I was looking at Flatwork as I was putting, because we've been selling a bunch of it and we're shipping it already today. We're shipping a bunch of it yesterday and today. And I still have some from the other place where I used to get my stuff. And you just look at it and you're like, this is just night and day difference, man. So not only am I able to give you a good product, but my pickups just like jumped up in quality. Like, I mean, I'm so stoked. It's so cool.
Super chat from Sarge978. Thanks for the super chat. He says, I'll do you one better. After I get it in, I'll let you borrow it to check it out for yourself.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we've done that before. Mm-hmm. Thank you. That'd be awesome.
I thought about that, Jim. I was going to say like not sponsored or put some tape over it. Jim says charge Sonic for advertising their drink.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So delicious though.
Yep. Yep.
Curtis Chavez says DAF's gold covers for BB King style blues, yay or nay?
Okay, sorry, say that again because Jose Daniels Zamora P just messaged me on my website. But it's a cool question, so I'm going to go ahead and answer it, but let's get his first. You want to finish this one? Yeah, okay. Let's get his first.
So Curtis Chavez said, DAF's gold covers for BB King style blues, yay or nay?
Yeah, you could do that for sure. And we can do that. Yeah.
Doc Siltonen says, hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. Jose Daniel Zamora P says in my chat, so I got it on my watch here. He says, hello, Dylan. I wanted to know if it would be possible to get a set of Super 8 humbuckers with the black coated covers you did in the vault. It's for a matte black Super Strat that I think would be so cool with the black ones. Oh, it must be longer than this. So I guess I'll ask him, we did the black Cerakote covers and I've been thinking about doing another run of those, but they're really expensive to make. So people have to, I guess we need to do like a pre-sale and see if we could pre-sell. I'd like to be able to pre-sell like 20 or 40 of them because the more we make, the more they make, it's the better. Oh yeah, he just sent me a picture of his guitar and matte black.
I hope your project wasn't top secret or anything.
Yeah, I hope you're not trying to surprise anyone. Sorry. Yeah, but your project is cool. I think it's a great idea. Man, that looks like a Schecter C1 almost. Anyways, I think it would be a great idea. I would like to do some more Cerakoted some more Cerakoted pickup covers, but again, there is a bit of a commitment there. And so, if it's something that you're interested in, put it in the comments on the video and I'd be interested to know because, we would love to do some more Cerakote stuff. I have a person here, a lady actually, does it locally and she's really good. And, but it was not cheap to get those 4 pickup covers done for that little test. And she told me I'd have to do 100 of them to get down to a price that I wanted. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I could sell 100 of them, but anyway, so yeah, I'd like to do it though. That'd be cool. But to Jose,
he said a pre-sale or pre-order would work awesome. Jose said that.
Okay, cool. So I'm guessing he wants those because we also did like an all black with black screws and black slugs. But I'm guessing because of his matte black thing that he wants to do the Cerakote thing. Yeah. So yeah, we'll work on that. That'd
Tom awesome. F said he would take another cover like the denim one he got.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right. Thanks for sending in some questions, y'all.
Yeah, this is great.
G Money. Dylan, you still liking the Tone X1? I saw that mine shipped today. First profiler for me.
I love it. I think it's great. What I like about it, especially for like doing videos and stuff, and playing headphones and everything, you can use it as a little personal amp. You can use it as a direct in thing. You can use it. It's so flexible. It does so many things. No, I love it. I think it's great. And black, and then we're gonna probably have to set up like a pre-order thing. So I'm going to work on this. We might see this next week. So I'll work on this, you guys.
Matthew Altamere, with the new machine out of a batch, are you having any subpar stuff or is it all literally perfect?
So I'm able to cut one at a time if I want. So if you're talking, okay, we have a couple new machines. We got our new CNC pickup winder, and that I've had to throw some stuff away. That one's taken some dialing in. And we're not really, that one that's taken some time to sort. But it's going good, and we're making good stuff with it. But it took me a while. I should say it took me a while because what's the easiest way to say it? Okay, so the CNC pickup winder, each model and each wind has to be figured out separately. So if you, for example, our Thruxton and which is what I was working on today, because somebody just ordered some Thruxtons. So our Thruxton and our center punch are two different pickups, right? And they're wound differently. So I have to figure out with each of those winds, how to make the machine do what I want it to do and make sure that it sounds the way I want it to sound, make sure the measurements are the way I want them to be and all that stuff. So we're not full production on that thing. We're still using our old pickup winder and there's going to be stuff that I'll always use the old pickup winder for because it's just better. There's certain things that are kind of easier, but so it's just kind of a mixed bag there. Cause we're still doing a lot of stuff on the old winder. And then on the laser side, I can cut one piece of flat work at a time. And then make adjustments. And it only takes, it doesn't take very long to cut a piece of flat work. So I just take a scrap piece about this big and put it in there and, cause flat work's not that big. So I can cut one and I've got my digital calipers and I've got my known template that I'm using that I want it to look like. And I can move things a couple thousandths this way and a couple thousandths that way. And I can make everything the way I want it. So I have gone through a lot of material. Not a lot, but I've gone through a fair amount of material trying to figure it out. But I'm also getting better at figuring it out. Yeah. So, like for example, the next thing we're going to work on is our Enduro flat work, because our Enduro flat work is really expensive. So I'd like to be able to make it myself. But now that I know what I'm doing to an extent, doing it on something new will be much easier than before. Like I literally on the Strat stuff is what I started with. I drew it. Like I literally started from scratch with this mechanical pencil and started from scratch because I went on the internet. I found all kinds of PDFs. I found all kinds of SVGs. I found all kinds of CAD drawings and none of them were what I wanted. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a known pickup bobbin that I like. I'm going to trace it. I'm going to measure it and I'm going to draw it from scratch. So it took a lot of work, but now that I have that baseline of knowledge down, we'll be able to do basically anything from now on. Yeah. Now I'm stoked. Now we can get some work done.
He's been stoked from the beginning.
Oh yeah, dude. Totally. I've been spending so much money on materials. Wait till I get the hats dialed in. Forget the pickups. Wait till I get the hats dialed in, you guys. Our new merch line is going to be bonkers cool. Stuff you have never seen on Guitar YouTube. ever. Stuff you have. I mean, this is going to blow your mind. It's awesome. Stoked. Super stoked.
All right.
They may or may not have seen one in a video the other day.
Sir Sneaker Pimp, I watched last week's telecast late and thought of a question. Then I had a Twilight Zone moment when I realized I couldn't type it. I wonder if others do that too.
A lot of people do. I see it all the time. Is this live right now? Can I ask a question?
Hilarious.
Like a week later or a year later or 10 years later.
Todd0864 says, what's the deal with the thick lacquer on American Pro 2 maple fretboards? Tried a new one and it was unplayable.
Nothing really. They just, they're all kind of done the way they've always done them with basically it's a sandable sealer and then they spray nitrocellulose lacquer over them, and it's not thick, it's just sticky. If you were to actually measure it, it's not thick. That's an interesting thing. People see a very shiny, sticky lacquer on a neck and they automatically think, oh, this is thick, but that's actually not. It's pretty thin.
Sarge978 says, do I remember correctly that I heard you say you're working on McCready pickups? If so, I think I know what's going in my Strat when you release them.
Yeah, I am.
He's innovating all the things right now.
Yeah, we're just kind of spread pretty thin on the brain power. Like so I'll tell you the way the day's been going lately. I've been getting up early. Well, I've been getting up at the same time. But instead of coming in here and sitting and drinking coffee, like yesterday at 7:30 in the morning, I was out in the garage cutting flat work before pickup making time. You know what I mean? Like, and coming in here and then making pickups and then, podcast at 4. Like, it's been like, get up earlier and stay up later to get it all done. And not to mention my health doesn't always cooperate. So, yeah.
Jim Cunningham says, turtle shell covers?
So I am actually working on, that is one of the things I would like to do, is to introduce a bunch of alternate materials where we take a pickup surround, an open top humbucker pickup cover. And I found a company that makes all kinds of different colored acrylics and various materials that we could then, once we have a template, we could cut in there and then go and have like a drop down box on the website where you could be like, I want this, add on this custom cover to my humbucker, and it would add $20 or whatever. But we would get this custom cut thing and it would make your guitar super unique. Yeah. So actually, I'll show you one right now.
You're never supposed to leave the camera shot, man. What's wrong with you? What kind of live broadcast is this?
They're about to see something cool. So this is red acrylic sparkle. And
Real sparkly. That
Yeah.
camera's not showing it.
here, hang on.
You gonna zoom it
I'm
in?
going to zoom it.
You have to hold it up. Ooh. Oh, you wanted to see where it got. Ooh, look at that engraving too.
Yeah.
Popping out.
Well, the engraving I still do by hand. I maintain that I'm always going to do the pickup cover engraving with my name. I'm always going to do that by hand. Like,
Why do you have ink all over your hand?
because we've been playing with pen stuff. Anyway, so that's you can buy this right now. This is $139. I don't have it on the website, but that's how much it costs. So if you want it, shoot me a message and I will buy it. I will sell it to you. It's just flat 6, but this is the kind of idea though. We could do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like you said, tortoise shell. Now, the only trick is PVC and ABS. I don't want to cut on a laser because it'll kill you. There's like chemicals in there that. So, but acrylics and all kinds of other things. There's lots of neat things that we can do that'll make your guitar super custom. And if you're dabbling in making 10 guitars or 5 guitars or whatever, it's all scalable. So we can do a lot of neat things.
Apparently I made a sound when you zoomed. I didn't even know I did.
You went, phew. I know, I heard you.
I didn't even notice. Doug says he likes that a lot. Oh, man, that cracked me up. Okay, so we're going to address, there's like a conversation happening here.
Okay.
Van Shank Guitar says, just wondering, Dylan, your voice gets really low at times when you're talking away from the mic. Is that mic unidirectional?
Yeah, if I go over here like this. And also the compression on this system, I'm still working on trying to figure it out. So that's part of it.
And then Sir Sneaker Pimp said, I've noticed that he's talking to Ivan. He said, I've noticed that as well. When Leslie moves, her mic placement isn't noticeable. And 67 Goat said, maybe Dylan's voice is more unidirectional than Leslie's.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Anyway. 67 Goat. I know this is kind of related, kind of not. Good point, though. 3D scanners would make your prototyping easier.
They would. It's about $1,000.
I didn't know that.
I've already looked into it.
Never mind. Terrible idea. I'm just kidding.
Not right now. It's a not right now thing.
Not right now. Oh, my goodness. Need some button. Don't do both. Super chat from Vinny's World. Thanks for the super chat, Vinny. He said, just dropping by to say thank you and love the content. Definite +1 for variety and choices, even if just to look at, though I tend to settle on the same things. Back to work and we'll watch the rest later.
And Vinny, I got your pickups done, your fancy, cool pickups done. And I'm working on getting a couple of cables here for you. And because he's shipping to Hong Kong. So I'm going to order his Runway Audio Dylan cables here, put them in the box so that they all can go to Hong Kong at once. So it's something that we're in the process of doing.
Super chat from Sarge978. Thanks for the super chat, Sarge. I don't know what this is from, so I know I'm not going to say it right. Do you know what that's from?
Yeah.
Can you say it? However,
it's Wayne's World.
Okay, so how do you say it?
I don't remember how it's said, but I think it's from Wayne's World.
Oh, he said extreme close up. Whoa. Don't disappoint me, Les.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Extreme close up. That's the same. I think it's almost the same. It is the same scene that I said earlier. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2.
How come you don't know how to say it right?
Because I don't talk like Mike Myers.
You need to work on
I'm
your
not from
impression.
Canada.
You know a lot of people from Canada,
I
though.
do.
All right, let me see. We're about out of time.
Okay, cool.
It's cool that we're out of time.
No, I mean, obviously.
All right. Hogman Hawks wants to know, how about some tone wood cover?
I mean, why not? I'll do anything. I can engrave a picture of your mom in your pickup cover now. We could do all kind of stuff.
Your mom.
Your mom.
All right. Let's see if there's anything super relevant.
Because once we start Cerakoting pickup covers, then we can engrave in the Cerakoting.
Right.
Yeah.
Sir Sneaker Pimp says, with your new winder, have you noticed any tonal differences? I ask, knowing that the components will be different. Do you A/B them to check that your tolerances haven't shifted?
That's the problem. That is the thing. That is the thing. They still got to be Dylan pickups. And that's why I'm not 100% there. You know what I mean? They still got to be me. And that's the thing. That is the rub when going to machines. And as easy as it can make stuff, it also is a long, complicated process to get things dialed to that point where you're happy with the stuff. So, yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Probably last one.
Okay.
Richard Del Connor says, regarding the topic of today's podcast, I am a very old-fashioned guitar player who believes I can get about 100 sounds out of my guitar and an amp and an app, maybe amp, I don't know, before I ever use an effect at all. So tuner plus wah.
Dude, I love that. I agree. And I think I'm a big proponent of one pickup guitar, like a Junior or an Esquire, cable, Princeton or Deluxe or whatever you want, but low wattage amp, crank it, and just learn how to play your guitar. And I don't mean like, how to play. I mean, it teaches you so much. And I would imagine with your gig or with your rig and what you just said, you would agree with me that, and getting all those sounds, the simple rig teaches you so much about how your guitar works. You start to understand how hot your pickups are. You really understand your pot taper. You really understand how much your capacitor cuts. Like, all those things are not now just numbers on paper or stuff you're talking about in a guitar forum anymore. It's like real, that you're really putting it into practice when you simplify down to that. And I 100% think that every person should own at least one single pickup guitar and a low wattage amp and have that for something that they play on a regular basis to learn, to take all the electronics nerdery that we talk about on this channel. And that to me is the most distilled down way to put that into application. I love that. All right.
9:01.
9:01. It is off topic hour. So here's how this works. We have talked about guitar stuff for an hour. Now we're going to hang out for a little bit and talk about off topic stuff. The rules are thusly. You can ask a guitar question, but it has to be in a super chat. If it is not in a super chat and it's a guitar question, we are going to skip it. You can ask any other question you want that's off topic, and we will probably answer it. If you're disappointed in these rules, you can show up earlier next week, or you can join Patreon and ask the question, and I will feature it on the screen like we did earlier. This is something we've been doing just to come and hang out with you guys and just be friends. We just want to be friends, and meet y'all in a way, as best we can through the internet. So there you go.
And sometimes in person.
And a lot of you in person as a result of many years of doing this. So yeah, it's great.
It has been years.
It has been.
All right. Can't see that. This is an off-topic thing that came in from Charles. Good evening, Leslie and Dylan. Thanks for sharing this evening with us. Was gifted a Benchmade, and it is truly next level. Really like my Kershaw knives, but this is next level. Never would have wanted one if not for this channel and you guys hanging with the community. I'm glad we can be bad influences.
I'm glad we can be bad influences on another hobby.
That's cool, though. I'm glad you like it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
And if it was a gift, does it even count? Like, you're not even cheating on your Kershaws then.
No. Speaking of gifts that are a Kershaw, he gave me a Kershaw. Like a super good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
I've actually gotten two. This is weird.
Okay.
People have sent me knives as gifts, right? So I've gotten a Buck 110. I don't remember what that other one was, that big, huge one. Two big knives that I can't remember what the names of them are.
Yep.
And two Kershaws from two different people in 2 different years that were both green with black blades.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of weird.
Or they just think it's cool.
Yeah. Anyway. And Charles was one of those people.
All right. Dog Dr. Tim says, what mechanical pencil do you have? Lead size?
I have. So I'm not a mechanical pencil nerd as much as I am a nerd about all the other stuff, fountain pens and all that.
Except I have some cool lead coming.
Yeah. She is the pencil nerd.
Brianna.
This is a Uniball Kuro Toga, and it is a 0.5. The only reason I have this pencil is because I was at Texas Toast Guitars doing a workshop, and Rick Nelson, who is often in the comments, was there, and he was taking notes on everything and sketching little things and whatever on a little reporter's notebook, like a little A6 notebook, with a mechanical pencil. And I was like, of course I'm writing with a fountain pen. I'm like, let me see that thing. And I'm like, this is really nice. And I got it like a week before we got the laser. And then I started sketching and tracing. And this, because it's so small and so accurate to do all this tracing and designing and stuff, it's been super handy for like the drafting side of it. I've just really enjoyed having it. So yeah, I've been carrying it around.
Push the button. Sarge978 says Dylan never talks the title topic. Derp, derp, derp.
That's funny.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarge, for the super chat.
Thank you. Yeah, that's hilarious.
All right. We got Dog Dr. Tim. Hawkman Hawk says, was looking at my local gun dealer's website and started looking at flashlights. Wonder if you have a flashlight collection. In response to wood covers, your mom goes to college. LOL.
Flashlights. Okay, so I have...
It's yes.
No, not really.
It's yes.
I have 2.
You have an no.
I have 4. Okay, so there's a Surefire on that 300 blackout right there. There is I have an Olight on another pistol. I have an Olight that's a pistol light, but it's not on a pistol. It's just in a drawer. And then I have a couple little Olights, and that's it. And then she's got an Olight.
He bought.
Yeah. And that's it. I don't really have tons of them.
You did.
Hey.
Are
you going to let that stuff fly around my...
No.
Okay.
Vermonster says tactical flashlights can be a rabbit hole and a money pit.
Yeah. I really...
boy, they are fun.
I wouldn't mind having like a Prometheus, and I wouldn't mind having... there's some flashlights I wouldn't mind having. I do carry a little Olight Baton 3. Oh, no. I do have an Olight Arkfeld, too.
And what's in the van?
We do have one in the van.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Yeah, I guess we have a few, but it's not like knives or anything. I only probably have, maybe I have a half a dozen, but they're all Olights because they have that magnety chargery thing, and I really like that. Except I have a little Surefire on my 300 blackout right here. Other than that, that's it.
Tom F says, what knife is that tonight?
This is a this is one of hers, actually, one of Leslie's. This is a Microtech Ultratech in, what do they call this? It's donut. Yeah. It's like the donut.
I know I'm not there yet.
Anyway, there you go.
All right, since we're all laughing about it, I'll read it. Jose Daniel Zamora P says, Sarge is the sugar daddy throwing money all the live stream to keep it funny. Thanks for that.
Hey, man. I appreciate him.
I don't know if he... Yeah. Yes.
Let me tell you, Brianna is very excited about the next 3 or 4 weeks, Sarge.
She's been shopping.
She's been shopping. She's... Did you?
Yes.
You bought a lot of snake stuff?
I bought a lot of snake stuff.
Yeah, cool.
She's stoked.
Yeah, we got another enclosure. I had it built by the same guy that built my other snake enclosure. And so that I just paid for the rest of that a couple days ago. And there's a reptile show here in town. He's in Atlanta, and there's a reptile show here in town on the 1st of June, I think, 1st and 2nd of June. And he's going to be at it. So he's just going to bring it over for me so I don't have to ship it or go get it. So that's when I will have an enclosure. And then she's buying everything ahead of time so that we'll have the enclosure the first weekend of June. It'll all be here by this weekend? I believe so. Oh, wow. Cool.
She's real excited.
She's excited. We still need to get a hide for him. But the hide, I want to wait because I want to get a hide in person.
I have no idea what you're talking
like
about.
Like a log, like some kind of log or something for him to be in.
Jose Daniel Zamora P is asking the person who brought up the flashlight for Monster, have you seen the ones that can also work as torches to start fires? I wanted
have.
one of those. A keychain thing. I don't know why.
You know what I was actually looking at the other day? And we saw him at a gun show. But I was watching a James Reeves video about...
I saw your browsing history.
Did you see my browsing history?
Yes.
The taser flashlight.
Yes.
As well as the mace capsules. Because he was talking about less than lethal solutions. And I was like, you know what? That's really interesting. And probably smart, to have...
I don't want anything that can hurt my eyes. Those things terrify me, actually.
Oh, right.
Because you can't not be around it. I mean,
Oh.
I've been hundreds of yards from a pepper spray incident and thought I was going to die.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I was above it too. That was probably part of the problem, but
like downwind in the prevailing
Yeah,
winds
it
from the...
was in DC and there was, I don't know what was happening, but we were kids and we were dumb enough to be like, oh, what's happening?
Oh.
And it was pepper spray. Vermonster said, who wouldn't want flamethrower and a flashlight?
I mean, why not?
A flamethrower by itself would be fun.
It would.
I don't know what I need it for, but.
One of my buddies built one.
Oh,
cool.
That was cold. Doc Silton has said, a new plant-based restaurant just opened here in the Sioux. Going to try it this weekend. I want pictures, details.
Yeah. Pictures and details.
Jealous. Sounds lovely. Joe Coach says, no question. Just want to say hi. And thanks for sharing your time with us. Hope to catch you in Atlanta one day. I live in North Georgia.
Oh, dude.
You should tell us where, because we're coming through there.
Yeah, you should.
Quite a few times.
Yeah, you should send me a message because actually in the next few weeks, we are going to be through there a bunch. So, yeah. We're going to Blade Show in Atlanta.
June 7th.
June 7th. And the day before that?
We'll go through there the day before.
Yeah. Austin from Runway Audio Cables is getting married, and so we are going to his wedding.
Yep.
We're actually friends. And so we're going to his wedding, and then after his wedding, we're coming back to Atlanta to go to Blade Show. So, yeah.
Yep. Vermonster wants to know, you got a suppressor for that 300 blackout?
Not yet. I just built it. It's not done really. It's built, but it's not done.
Vermonster says, I've found that my favorite knives seem to come from either Germany or Japan.
Interesting. My favorite kitchen knives come from Japan. I do know that.
Joe Coach says, got my first big boy pen 25 years ago. Mont Blanc Meisterstruck mid-size rollerball. Lost every pen I ever owned. Still have this one.
That's cool. So he's got a Meisterstück 146 rollerball. That's really cool, man. That's cool. I have a Mont Blanc 220. Oh, I've got it right here. I've got a Mont Blanc 220. So this is from the 1960s, from like 1966, 67. It was in response to Lamy and their 2000. So this is a really cool pen. I really like this pen. And then I have a Mont Blanc Starwalker, which is a 2020. Well, I got it in December. So yeah, Mont Blanc.
Hogman Hawk says Canes 3, Rangers 2.
Ooh, so it's going to be good by the time the live stream is over. Awesome.
Los Federales says, okay, so you always talk about pocket knives and hunting knives. What about cooking knives?
Oh, dude, I have a whole...
We have a wall, literally a wall of them.
You make sure that you subscribe to Dylan, youtube.com/Dylan and Leslie. Can you put that in the comments? See if it'll do it.
I don't know. I probably can as you.
youtube.com/Dylan and Leslie. If you subscribe to that channel, I will make a video just because you asked, because I've been meaning to do it, but I will make a video just because you asked about our kitchen knife collection, because I have a whole, yeah. Yep.
Push the button. Super chat from Sarge978. Thank you, Sarge. He's responding to Jose. My pleasure, Jose. As a full-time single father, don't get much adult interaction. Nothing brings me joy like paying for Leslie to make me feel like a dork.
I love it. That's great.
See,
man.
and here I was thinking he was just trying to make me feel like a dork.
I know, right?
So I appreciate that update.
No, that's awesome. One of these days, we're going to have to meet up with him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I feel
cool.
like he's, northeast somewhere, right?
Yeah, northeast. Yes.
I want to go to the northeast. We
Probably
should take a vacation this year.
We didn't take a vacation, and we haven't taken a vacation in a couple of years, actually.
I feel like I need one this year. I mean, not like financially, but like mentally.
Yeah. Financially, probably not.
Yeah, financially, I probably should just stay home and read a book
Yeah. Yeah. When you buy
that
a
I
house,
already own.
yeah, don't even buy a new book. When you buy a house, it's like, it's so expensive. It's like, and it's not, it's not that the house or, and obviously we can afford the house. It's not that part of it. It's just, you want to paint this room and you want to do, and setting all this stuff up to shoot video and setting up the office and then I bought the laser, and that was a whole deal in the garage and putting cabinets in and all that. And you're just like, oh my gosh, this is just, every time you go to Home Depot, you're like, oh, just hold my breath.
Let's see. I lost my place. Okay. Vermonster says, I'm probably a child. I've been looking at slingshots.
Oh, dude.
Fun?
I used to have a really good slingshot. And so speaking of being a kid, one of the things I haven't done we haven't gotten that far yet. We haven't gotten to the yard. Like we have a half acre here. And so the backyard's real big. So there's a few things that I want to do in the backyard. One is I want to get a pergola over the deck. That's adult-ish. Secondly, I want to put in a horseshoe pit. That's very adult and old man, actually. Thirdly, I want to put in a knife throwing setup. And fourthly, I want to put in a tomahawk throwing setup, which is kind of the same, but different. It's a little different.
Well, the place I went, it was the same targets.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
We could use the same targets, I guess. Usually knife throwing targets are lower,
Yeah.
but it's the same backboard. It's the same construction.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I want to do that. So yeah, that'd be super fun.
All right. Let me just catch up really quick. Oh, wow. That's cool. I love that we talk about these things and then make connections with people that we would have never made otherwise.
What do you mean?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
For instance, let's catch up on, did I read that? I did read that. So Richard Del Connor said a couple things. I'm going to go backwards. So this is the one I was Anyway, do you have an email that I could send you some photos of my calligraphy using those Chinese brushes?
Oh, wow. That's super cool. Yes, you can. There's an email on the website. It's just Dylan at Dylan Pickups. But yeah,
That'd be cool.
that'd be
Show
cool.
me.
Because she just ordered a pen today with a variety of calligraphy nibs she wants to try. She likes stubs. She likes real wide.
Mm-hmm. And these are real wide.
Real wide. 2.3 millimeters.
So the other thing Richard Del Connor said, so earlier he's the guy who said he was an old guy, super simple setup, right?
Uh-huh.
Lots of sounds. And he mentioned that he was an old hippie, 70 years old, but his ears are still good because he always wore earplugs. So then here's Richard's question. Is there any benefit of traveling rock stars claiming the children they have spawned on the road? Is it better to fight them all or have a larger family?
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if that's like a personal
I'm
question or
not
just
sure.
a
Yeah.
hypothetical.
I don't know.
Asking for a friend.
We're not related or anything, are we? Like that I need to know about. I'm just kidding. Oh, that's funny.
I don't have any advice for you, Richard.
No.
If you're 70 and made it this far, like you probably should just let it go.
Keep everything on the DL. Yeah. That is funny though.
Joe Coach says, I'll drop you a message. I live in Paulding County. Would love to meet you guys.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Jose Daniel Zamora P says, I used to be like, what's the hot deal with guns? But after going with my dad last month to try some rifles, I had my John Mayer in Hot Ones moment. Like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, it's fun. And for me, because I have a lazy eye, I've said this before, I can't play basketball. I can't play volleyball. I can't play tennis because my depth perception in a certain range is really hard. I can do it because I've compensated for it for my whole life, but it's really hard for me. But things that take one eye, like shooting, I'm really good at. And I really enjoy the skill of it. And I really, and the mechanical, and I think the other thing too, with some of these other hobbies and firearms and knives are a big one. And now fountain pens too, is I get to learn a lot about how all these other businesses work and what their customers like and how they think and all that kind of stuff. I really enjoy that. And it helps me. It helps me to be better at Dylan Talks Tone. So, I like gun videos on YouTube have made my videos better because I've been looking outside of guitar land for inspiration and for ideas and, oh, that's a good top 10 list. And a top 10 list is a good idea in general. I've never done one of those. Oh, and I get these from, watching other industries, and firearms is a big one for that because, there's a lot of content out there and I really enjoy the engineering of it. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is funny. People crack me up. All right. Let me make sure I'm caught up. All right. Regarding moving and expenses, Doc Siltonen said, don't get me started. Polly needs an apartment in downtown Toronto before August. Average is $1,000 a square foot. Ridiculous.
Woo.
What? I'm assuming that's what he said. He's saying.
He told me before we were talking about it. I think him and I were talking about it, and it's bonkers.
Wow. Jose Daniel Zamora P said, my mother just came in like, why are you laughing alone with the TV? And was like, they are my YouTube friends, I think.
I love it. That is amazing. Go play with your YouTube friends.
Oh my gosh. Joey Dano Guitars just ordered a wrist rocket slingshot.
That's peer pressure. That's awesome.
Yeah. By the way, we just had Joey Dano Guitars here.
Joey Dano Guitars just stopped by the house the other night. I forgot about that. I've got one of his Texas Toast daily drivers here, and it's sick. And we're gonna do something I've played with it before, and he has bugged me. So, this is guitar stuff. I'll talk to you about it next week. But yes,
cool. Yeah, it was good to have you,
cool.
though, Doug.
It was great to have him around for a minute. Yeah, he only stopped by for a few minutes, but it was cool.
Vermont Star says, Dylan, you will have an amazing backyard.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm stoked.
God Given says, hello, Leslie and Dylan. Can you use a tomahawk like a tool as a hatchet? Is it effective or more combat oriented?
Depends on the tomahawk. So there are tomahawks that are more like hatchets. I have one that is very battle oriented. And I'm actually shopping for one right now. So I'm Native American. I'm Chippewa up from where Doc Siltonen is from. And so I am searching right now for a period correct reproduction would be good enough. Tomahawk, but I don't want the gimmicky tomahawk pipe thing that everybody makes because that's a French trader thing. I want an actual like a battle tomahawk, which would actually be probably some sort of animal leg with a stone. It's like a blunt tomahawk actually, so it's more like a hammer. So it would be like some of them they would use like a hip bone, and the ball on the end of it would be the weapon, or there would be or it would be like,
Good thing they didn't have osteoporosis then.
I know, right? Or it would be like a leg bone with a stone, like a rock, lashed to it. So I'm trying to find some of those things. I'm trying to find some period correct.
Not hip bones.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it would be weird.
Los Federales says death by shark or death by fire.
Shark.
I mean, shark, if it
Shark.
just needs to be immediate.
Yeah, just chomp me, man.
I mean, and it probably indicates I was doing something fun before that.
Oh, true.
And I was at the beach.
Yeah, dying surfing is
Yeah.
better than dying sleeping in your house.
Yeah. Gotta have a cool story, even if you can't tell it, I guess. Somebody's gonna tell it.
Somebody's going to tell it.
Yeah. Sarge 978 says Canes and Rangers tied at 3.
Dude. Well, how long left in the game? What is it? Is it the end, getting close to the end of the second period? I want to know what part of the game we're in right now.
Right now.
Because that might determine how long this live stream goes.
Well,
No.
we're caught up, so
Okay.
it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I was thinking we might go to 9:30 tonight so that I could watch the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That might be the thing.
Joe Coach says I can't swim good, so I would drown first. So definitely death by shark.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like we've got some. There's a couple of names in here. I just want to say this. There's a couple of names in here tonight that maybe we've seen before. Maybe you've been here every week. Maybe I've missed your name.
7 minutes into the third period. Or maybe there's 7 minutes left in the third period. I don't know. 7:20, 7:30 left in the third. 7 minutes left in the third period. There you go.
Yeah, we gotta go. Yeah, we gotta go. This is awesome. I'm just glad that we got some new names, some people hanging out, thinking they could be friends with us. That's what we want, and that's why we do this. So, thank you, everybody.
Now he's itching. He's got to go watch
I gotta
hockey.
go watch hockey.
Thank y'all very
see ya.
much.